Jacob's years of service were nearing an end. Laban had grown very rich during this time. Feeling generous, he told Jacob, "I know you will return home soon. Name your wages for the years you served me, and I will pay them." Jacob told Laban, "Let us divide your flock. You will take all the dark and spotted sheep and goats. I will take all the white ones. When I am ready to return to Canaan, I will let you look over my flock. All the white animals will be yours. The dark and spotted ones will be mine. I will take them as my wages." Laban chuckled with glee. Jacob was asking to be cheated. After separating the flocks, Laban sent all the darker animals away, a 3-day journey to make sure they would have no contact with Jacob's flock. But Jacob knew more about raising sheep than Laban. He knew the animals had already mated. He also knew that when dark or spotted sheep or goat mated with a white one, the offspring were likely to be spotted. That is what happened. When the animals in Jacob's flock gave birth several months later, the majority of lambs and kids were spotted. Jacob raised them carefully. When they were grown, he mingled them with the rest of the flock. Within a few generations, nearly all of Jacob's animals were dark or spotted. Jacob set the few white ones aside and did not allow them to breed. Jacob's flocks multiplied year by year, while Laban's dwindled. Nearly every animal in Jacob's care was dark or spotted, for Yahweh's blessing rested with Jacob, not Laban, and Jacob was a much better shepherd. As Jacob's wealth increased, Laban grew jealous. Whenever they met, he spoke coldly to Jacob, staring at him with envy. Jacob realized it was time to go. He waited until Laban went off to shear his sheep. Then he gathered his wives and children, his servants, his flocks and herds, and all that belonged to him, and started for the land of Canaan. Before they left, Rachel stole Laban's teraphim, the small household idols that he worshipped. When Laban heard that Jacob had fled, he hurried home to ask his idols what to do. To his horror, he found the idol shelf empty. The teraphim were gone. Laban thought, "If Jacob has stolen my idols, he has the power to do me great harm. I must get my idols back. Then I can attack Jacob." Laban gathered his neighbors and servants and galloped off in pursuit of Jacob. They caught up with him 7 days later near the slopes of Mount Gilead, in the hill country east of the Jordan River. That night Yahweh came to Laban in a dream. "Beware," Yahweh said. "Do not think of harming Jacob. Do not try to entice him with sweet words or frighten him with threats." When Laban met Jacob the next morning, he spoke plainly. "Why did you run away? You carried my daughters and grandchildren off like a bandit. You did not give me a chance to say goodbye to them. Furthermore, you even stole my teraphim. Is this how you repay my hospitality for taking you in and sheltering you all these years? I could harm you if I wish, but the God you worship spoke to me last night. He warned me not to threaten you. I understand why you wish to return to your own land, but why did you steal my gods?" "I know nothing about your gods," Jacob answered. "I do not worship them. I do not believe in them. Why would I steal them? Search my caravan. If you find your idols, you may have them back. I will put to death the person who stole them." Jacob would not have spoken these words had he known that Laban's idols were hidden in the saddlebags of Rachel's camel. Laban searched throughout Jacob's caravan. He looked everywhere without success. At last he came to Rachel. "Get down, daughter. I must look in your saddlebags." "Let me stay where I am, father," Rachel pleaded. "My belly hurts. It is hard for me to climb up and down from this camel. You know I haven't taken your gods. Why would I do that? I know how important they are to you." Laban passed Rachel by. He finished his search unsuccessfully. "You see," Jacob said to him, "I don't have your idols. You had no reason to pursue me. I served you well and faithfully for many years. I always kept my word. I never complained, even though you tried to cheat me many times. If your idols have mysteriously vanished, it's Yahweh's punishment upon you. You must accept it." Laban shrugged sheepishly. "Let us not quarrel. Can you not see we are one? Your wives are my daughters. Your children are my grandchildren. Let us make a pact of peace. Let it be a witness of friendship between us forever." Jacob did not argue with Laban, although he knew what his friendship was worth. Together they raised a heap of stones. There they swore an oath by the gods of their fathers to be friends forever. Laban spent the night in Jacob's camp. In the morning he departed. Jacob continued on his journey. As he rode out ahead of the caravan, he saw angels coming to meet him. "Surely this is Yahweh's camp," he said to himself, and he called the place Mahanaim, which means 2 camps. Jacob's caravan entered the hill country of Seir, near the plain of Edom, where his brother Esau lived. Jacob was worried. He feared that Esau might not have forgotten or forgiven him for how he stole his birthright. Esau was a mighty man, the ruler of a nation of savage nomads. If Esau attacked his caravan, Jacob could not hope to defend it. Jacob sent a message to his brother. It said, "Your servant Jacob is on his way home. I have lived with Laban until now. I am returning with my flocks and herds, my family and my servants. If we find favor in your sight, permit us to cross your lands in peace." The messengers came back to tell Jacob that Esau was coming to meet him, accompanied by an escort of 400 armed men. The news frightened Jacob. If Esau meant no harm, why was he bringing an army with him? Jacob prepared for trouble. He divided his caravan in half. If Esau attacked one group, the other might still escape. He sent his choicest animals, sheep and goats, cows and camels, donkeys and horses, as a gift to his brother. Jacob prayed to Yahweh to protect him. He asked Yahweh to remember his promise to deliver him from Esau. After dark, the camp settled down to an uneasy sleep. Jacob awoke in the middle of the night. He roused his wives and children and all the people and animals who remained with him, and led them across a nearby stream. Once they were settled on the opposite bank, he returned to the camp alone. Jacob sat in darkness, thinking about the next day, when he would come face to face with Esau. Suddenly he sensed that he was not alone. He looked up and saw a stranger standing before him. Something about the stranger's face frightened Jacob. He did not look like a being from this world. "Who are you? Why have you come to me?" Jacob asked. When the stranger did not reply, Jacob reached out to touch him. The stranger grasped Jacob's arm. The two began to wrestle. Jacob and the stranger wrestled all night, but neither could prevail against the other. At last dawn came. Seeing that he could not overcome Jacob, the stranger reached out and touched him in the hollow of his thigh, where his leg joined his hip. Jacob's leg buckled beneath him, but he did not let go. "Release me, for day is dawning. I must return to my place," the stranger said. Jacob answered, I will not let you go until you bless me." For by now he knew his opponent was no human being. "Tell me your name." "My name is Jacob." The stranger said, "Your name will be Jacob no more. From now on you will be called Israel, for you have wrestled with God and with men and prevailed." Then Jacob asked him, "Tell me your name." The stranger answered, "Why do you ask, since you already know?" Then he blessed him and disappeared. For the rest of his life, Jacob walked with a limp because of the injury to his thigh. He called that place Peniel, which means the face of God, for he said, "I have seen Yahweh's face and lived."